Tonight we walk slowly. There is no need to rush. The streets ahead are empty, the lantern light is steady, and the night is very long. Welcome to Yharnam, a city of towering spires and narrow streets, where stone buildings lean inward as if whispering secrets to one another, where iron gates creak softly in the wind, and where the moon hangs too low in the sky. This is the story of the nightmare, but like all true nightmares, it did not begin in darkness. It began with hope. Long before the hunt, Yharnam was known as a place of healing. Travelers came from distant lands, weak from illness and burdened by age, seeking a cure whispered about in quiet taverns and monastery halls. They came seeking blood. Deep beneath the city, scholars uncovered ancient labyrinths, far older than recorded history, tombs of the Thumerians who once served beings known as the Great Ones. Within those labyrinths was the old blood. It shimmered with power, restored strength, mended flesh, and felt divine. The healing church rose quickly after its discovery. Clerics administered the blood in sacred rituals. Cathedrals were built high into the sky, their spires piercing the clouds. The sick recovered, the frail stood tall again, and hope bloomed like spring. But the blood carried something ancient, something patient, and something hungry. Before the healing church, there was a quiet academy near a still lake called Byrgenwerth, where Master Willem studied the ruins and the great ones. He believed humanity was not meant to ascend through blood, but through insight. Fear the old blood, he warned. Willem believed the mind must evolve before the body, that humanity's limitation was perception itself. He spoke of lining the brain with eyes and seeing beyond reality. But his student Lawrence disagreed. Lawrence saw the blood not as danger, but as opportunity. Their philosophies divided, and from that division the healing church was born. Willem remained by his lake, seeking answers in reflection, while Lawrence built cathedrals and the city drank deeply. The change was gradual. At first only fever, then restlessness, then something deeper. The blood did not simply heal, it awakened something buried within humanity, a primal instinct. Fur sprouted beneath skin, bones twisted, teeth sharpened. Citizens became beasts. The healing church called it a plague and created hunters. Hunters walked the streets at night armed with trick weapons, blades that folded and extended, firearms that staggered prey. The hunt became ritual. Each night bells rang across the city, doors locked, windows shuttered, candles trembled behind thin curtains, and outside the hunters moved through the fog. The hunt was not meant to end the scourge, but to contain it, yet the blood continued to flow. Some hunters did not die when they fell. Instead, they awoke beneath a pale sky in a quiet garden of drifting white flowers known as the hunter's dream. A small workshop stood bathed in moonlight, and within it a doll waited, gentle and patient, while somewhere unseen the moon presence watched. The dream bound hunters to an endless cycle. They would rise, fight, fall, and rise again, not free and not alive in the ordinary sense, but sustained. The dream was mercy and imprisonment. The great ones are not gods in the human sense. They are distant, cosmic, alien beyond comprehension, existing slightly out of phase with reality, as if humanity stands only inches away from perceiving them fully. They do not rule with intention or punish with malice. They simply are. Many of them long for children, yet every child of a great one is destined to be lost. They turn their attention to humanity, not with cruelty, but with distant sorrow. As insight grows in Yharnam and citizens glimpse what was once invisible, reality begins to bend. Cathedral walls stretch impossibly tall. Creatures cling to buildings that were never meant to hold them, and the sky reveals shapes that were always there waiting to be seen. The nightmare is not created, it is revealed. Within the church, there were those who sought direct communion. The school of Mensis attempted a ritual beneath a blood-red moon. They sought to beckon a great one. Instead, they tore open the veil. Their minds were trapped, their bodies left hollow, and the nightmare of Mensis was born, a realm of suffocating crimson sky. Scholars wander there still, their thoughts fragmented. The ritual did not fail, it succeeded, but humanity was not prepared for what answered. There is another realm shaped not by scholars, but by guilt, the hunter's nightmare. Hunters who succumbed to bloodlust, who forgot mercy and reveled in violence, are drawn there to relive the hunt again and again. The nightmare is not revenge, it is reflection. As the night deepens, the moon swells, reddens, and lowers. Under the blood moon, the boundary collapses entirely. The great ones descend closer. The city's final illusions fade. Unseen infants cry in hidden cradles. The air grows here, and the hunter walks forward, not merely to survive, but to understand. There are several endings to the hunt. In one, the hunter accepts release, the dream fades, and morning arrives softly. In another, the hunter replaces the guide of the dream, bound to continue the cycle. In the rarest path, through consuming the umbilical cords of great ones and gaining terrible insight, the hunter transcends, becoming something small yet infinite, a newborn great one cradled beneath a quiet sky, not human and not beast, but something new. Bloodborne is not simply horror, it is about ambition, about humanity reaching beyond its grasp. It asks whether evolution is worth the cost, whether enlightenment demands sacrifice, whether some doors should remain closed. Yharnam did not fall because it was evil, but because it desired more knowledge, more power, more control, and in doing so, it invited the cosmos to answer. Now imagine the streets empty, the lantern flickering softly, the wind moving gently through narrow alleys, the bells silent, the hunt ended, the moon lifting higher into the sky, the nightmare settling back into stillness. Rest now. Yharnam will remain where it has always been, waiting, and when you close your eyes, perhaps you will hear distant bells, soft and fading far away. Sleep well.